Hi, lovelies. Welcome back to Jenny's Crowns. I am Queen. If you're seeing this channel for the first time, welcome. If you're interested in learning how to cut this six-piece skirt with slits, please stay tuned. So for this skirt, I'm going to be drafting a pattern simply because I want to make this particular skirt in different colors. You can choose to skip this part. So I'm going to use 1.5 inch for my band. So I'm going to place the 1.5 here. So I'll mark from that point to my hip line. So I'm going to mark my hip line here. Okay. Then I'm going to also measure the length of the skirt. So this paper is not as long as I would want. I'm just going to use it anyways, then extend it when I'm transferring this pattern on my fabric. I will go ahead and connect the lines or the dots I made on my hip point here. All right, so I'll label this my hip and this part my full length. This skirt is very easy to make, very easy. It's a simple skirt and also it's unique at the same time. You can rock this with a crop top and you're good to go. So I'll divide my round waist measurement by 4 and mark it on that line you see here. So go ahead and measure yourself, then divide your round waist measurement by 4. So I'm going to place it on this line here. So go ahead and mark it there. So for our hip line, I'm going to divide my round hip measurement by 4. So for me, the measurement I'm using for my round hip is 40 inches divided by 4 is going to give me 10. I'll mark it there. Now for the full length of this skirt, it has a bit of A-line shape. So we're going to put that into consideration when doing this. So I'm just going to connect it like this. Now I will measure what I have at the hip line. I will just measure it, then add extra 3 inches to it. You can choose to add 2 or more. I'm using extra 3 inches to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark there, here. So mind you, I'm yet to add my sewing allowance here. I'm just going to connect it like this, the full length all the way to the hip line. Okay. So when doing this, just make sure you have that A line shape at the lower part of your skirt. It depends on how wide you want or how A line like you want the skirt to be. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to put down my dart. So now listen carefully. If your nipple to nipple measurement is 7 or lower than that, please add half inch to it. Now, if I divide my nipple to nipple measurement by 2, I'm going to get 3.5. And I'm not going to use exactly 3.5. I'm going to add extra zero point 0.5 inch, giving me 4 inches. The reason is if I use the exact 3.5, this center part is going to be narrow and I don't want it to be like that. So I'll add extra zero point 0.5 inch. So I'm going to mark my dart all the way to the full length of the skirt. Please, if your nipple to nipple measurement is above 3.5, please just put half of your nipple to nipple measurement there as your dart. No need to add extra zero point 0.5 inch. All right. So this is what I have. I'll be cutting these pieces open and also be using this same pattern to cut my back piece. Then I won't be adding zipper allowance to my back piece. I'll be adding the zipper at the side. All right. So I'll just go ahead and cut this. So after cutting this, just pay close attention as you see me cut because I'm going to cut this. I'll be having 3 pieces for each. for the back and the front. Remember, this is a 6 pieces skirt, and it's also going. The front is going to have a slit at the front, or slits rather, at the front. So let's go ahead and cut this open. Go ahead and also cut this part open. So this is what I have. So I have, since I'm not adding my zipper allowance to the center back, I'm going to cut the center part for the front and back, unfold, then the other pieces. So I've gone ahead to transfer my pattern on my fabric. I'm using a red fabric. So these are the centers for the back and the front. So they unfold as you can see. Now, when I went to get the fabric for this skirt, I got different shades of red because the red I wanted, it was just left. I think it was just a yard and a half that was left. So I had to add what I saw that was close to the red, the shade of red I had or I wanted, and I just got it. And also the other shade that I added was equally, I think about 1 yard or so. Can't remember. So I was very intentional in making this outfit because I decided to place the different shade of red as the side front. Yes, and I used the same shade of red for the center back and also the center front. So what I did basically is the fabric at the back, the pieces at the back are the same shade of red. Okay. Why the center front is the same shade of red with that of the back, then the side front, different shade of red. I was intentional. I didn't want it to look as if it was a mistake. I just made it a bit stylish. Yeah. As a fashion designer, you have to just be creative. So basically what I'm doing here is just joining the side to the center back. This is the center back. Okay. So I added 0.5 inch at the sides because we're going to be stitching this down. Okay. So as you can see, there's no zipper allowance at my back. So if you're adding a zipper allowance, you're just going to close down your back and add your zipper allowance. Hope you understand. If you don't understand, please just let me know in a comment section. So I'm just going to pin this all the way to the full length like this. It's a very simple skirt and also very fun as well. So I'm just going to pin this like this. So I went ahead to notch 0.5 inch at the top and at the lower part. So it's easier that way. So after joining this, I'm going to go ahead and iron it. After ironing, this is what I have. You can see the outside. Look at what it looks like on the inside. So this is my front, or these are my front pieces. So this piece is the same shade of red with that of the back pieces. Okay. And this is the side. Now, remember, if you look at the thumbnail, you will see that there's a pocket at the sides. That is the front or the side front. So I didn't want a pocket on mine. So I decided to just create that, which you're seeing there, that joining there. Okay, so I've gone ahead already to weave the sides of my pieces because I just want it to look neat and clean. So for this skirt, we won't be adding any lining. Okay, the fabric I'm using is crepe fabric, so it's actually reasonably thick. It's not transparent, so it is good enough to go ahead to make this without a lining or lining pieces. So for the slit, I'm going to place my 1.5 here as you see me doing here. Okay, then I'll place my tape just to get the depth of my slit. So you can choose to use 18 inches, 19 inches, 20 or more or less depending on what you want. So I'm marking 19 inches on both sides. So I'm marking 19 inches on both sides like this. You can try to make yours shorter depending on what you're comfortable with. So I'm going to stitch with 0.5 inch and stop on the marked point. Then iron. So this is what I have. Okay. You just iron and open press this part. So you can choose to stitch this down, but I won't be stitching it down because I don't want any thread showing at the front. So I'm going to just use my hemming gum. Okay, I'm going to make use of my hemming gum. So I'm going to use this hemming gum, but I'm making use of two layers, that is double layers for this, just to have that extra hold. So you go ahead and put this, then use your steam iron. Make sure you use your steam iron so that the gum can melt then iron it very well. So I'll do that for the slits. After ironing, this is what I have. You can see the slit very flat. So I'm going to join my front piece and my back piece together. So basically I'm just going to be joining them the normal way you join your skirt. Okay, I'm just going to pin all the way to the full length of the skirt. After pinning, this is what I have. I'm going to go ahead to put down my round waist measurement, my round hip measurement. Also remember that at the lower part of this skirt, it's going to look like an A line. Okay, so let me put this down a bit. It's going to look like an A line at the lower part of the skirt. So go ahead and measure whatever you have here. Also, remember your sewing allowance here. So I'm just going to mark whatever I have here and subtract the extra inches I have as my joining or sewing allowance on both sides. So I'm going to do that for the waist, the hip, then also the full length. So I'm just going to go ahead and stitch down, then show you what I have, then iron. So iron this very well so it can come out flat and nice. I'll be making use of an invisible zip here. So I'm going to, I also put that into consideration when marking the or shaping my skirt. So I'm going to put as much depth I want for the zipper allowance here. So just put whatever you're comfortable with and go ahead and stitch this down like this. Then make sure you iron. So I'm gonna head to iron. This is what I have. I'm already in love with the skirt. So this is what I have. So you can see everything is nice. So I will equally fold this part, the hemline here. I'm going to use my hemming gum to do that. So you can stitch it if you want, just whatever you want. So now for my band, I'm here to add my zipper. I'm going to attach my band first before attaching my zipper. So my band is 1.5 inch on fold. So if I open it up, I shall have about 3 inches. That is excluding the half inch I'm going to fold in when attaching it to my skirt. So just fold your band in a way that when it's on fold like this, you will have 1.5 inches if you're making use of 1.5, or you will have 2 inches if you're making use of 2 inches. Hope you get. Then after stitching it down, I'm going to join my zipper at the side. So this is the finished look. If you got value from this video, please like this video, share, click on the notification bell so you get notified whenever I upload new videos. Until next time, bye.